So guys, today we're going to talk about one of my favourite mercenaries, and that's Rutger Shaw. I was asked in the first live painting party that we recorded what my favourite model was for Warmachine or Hordes or just from Privateer Press, and I said it was this one. It's Rutger Shaw. Now, it's not because he's the best looking model in the world, which if you have a look under the camera you can see. He's pretty plain. It's not because he's the best mercenary solo out there, because he's not really. It's because this is the first model I ever bought for Warmachine or Hordes, and it was at the Iron Kingdoms model at the time, and I used it in D&D 4th edition as my fighter come artificer, who was great fun at the time, and that's what got me started on Warmachine. In general, I had this figure already when a mate of mine said, "Have you not tried Warmachine?" And I said, "Oh, is that connected to the Iron Kingdoms models?" And never looked back from there, I'm afraid, guys. So there's Rutger Shaw. As you can see, he got his goggles. He's got a lot of wee packs and things. Some nice little armor plates and stuff. He's a good mercenary model. He's got lots of sort of ragtag bits and pieces of armor, and he looks a bit rough and ready. And it's a great wee model. It's got this. This is one thing I never really got. Is his sword is supposed to be a mechanical blade, but it's got like a little sheath bit at the end of it, and it looks like he's forgotten to take the sheath off his sword. But anyway, regardless, he's my favourite character just because he was the first one I ever got. But if we have a look at his card, we can see what he gets up to. He's got a mat 7, so he's not too bad. Just look at the back there a wee second. So go through his special rules in a wee second. He's got a mat of 7, so he's not a bad fighter. He's defense 13 and armor 14, so he's reasonably tough. He's quite good. He's rat of 6 as well, so he's no slouch when it comes to shooting. He has a hand cannon, which of course anybody who knows anything about Warmachine knows that's the biggest sort of pistol you get, which is a par 12 and a range of 12. He's also got his mechanical sword, as I was saying, which is his magical sword that's powered by mechanical energy. But what does he do? Well, he's a mercenary. He works for Signar, for Khador, and for the Protectorate. And he has some special abilities. His abilities are dodge. Dodge allows him to move 2 inches whenever an attack misses him. The 2 inches ignores free strikes and stuff. He just jumps out of the way generally. With a defense of 13, it's not going to happen a huge amount of the time, but when it does happen, it's probably best to use it to get him out of the road. If you can get out of melee reach with something, he can use his hand cannon on it, and his hand cannon is pretty good. He's probably better not being in hand-to-hand combat, even though his mat's slightly higher than his rat. He can drive because he's a Jack Marshal. Jack Marshals can control warjacks. Because he's a mercenary, that means that he can control mercenary warjacks. If you wanted to put him into your Signar, Khador, Protectorate force, he can also bring a mercenary warjack with him because he's a Jack Marshal. The best one to pick is the Vanguard, in my opinion, my humble opinion. If you don't have a Vanguard, try the Talon. But the Vanguard has a ranged attack with a gun and its shield. It's also got a huge polearm as well, so it's got reach, which really helps him out in hand-to-hand combat whenever he actually decides that he wants to engage anything. So yeah, take a Vanguard with him if you want. Try a Talon if not. I basically would try for the Vanguard though. What he can do then is, as a Jack Marshal, he can give it a boost to an attack roll, a damage roll. It can make it charge, can make it run. It has the effect of having a focus without actually putting a focus onto the warjack. Although whenever he controls a warjack like that, it means that the warjack isn't part of the warcaster's battle group, so battle group spells don't affect it. He can also then has a drive, which is an ability that he can command the warjack to do something special. He makes a command check. Check his command 9, so he's pretty good. Once he passes his command check, he can put reroll onto the warjack. The warjack can reroll missed attacks. I think it's. Let's just check if it's melee attacks or not. Nope, one missed attack roll. So it's any attack roll. Again, that's the reason why you want to take a Vanguard, because the Vanguard has not only a melee attack but also a ranged attack, so it can reroll either one of those, as well as an assault ability too, which makes it just even better. He then, of course, has flank with Taran della Ravisi. Taran della Ravisi is his partner in crime from the Iron Kingdom stories, but I'll do her separately so that I can tell you a bit about her later on. He also has the flank ability with the Warjack that he controls, which means that if he makes a melee attack against a target that's inside the melee reach of his Warjack, he gets +2 to his attack roll and a bonus damage dice to roll as well. I mean, that's great for something that has reach. The Talon has reach, I say, the Vanguard has reach. It just makes it that it's a lot easier for him to get that ability should he decide to go into hand-to-hand combat. Again, that's an extra die of damage, so it's not a boost. If he charges something that's in melee reach with his Warjack, that's 4 dice of damage on his mechanical sword. He can be quite surprising for a 2-point solo, the amount of damage that can come out of good old Rutger Shaw. But last but not least, just because he's Rutger Shaw, because he's been around for so long, he has tough. So when you kill him, he might not be dead. So basically, like I say, he's my favourite character just because he was the first one I ever got, and he's the one that got me, the one I blame for getting me into Warmachine anyway. So tell me about it, guys. Drop some comments below. Tell me what the first model was that you ever bought for Warmachine and Hordes, or just tell me what you think of Rutger Shaw.